Welcome back and welcome to another book talk. I said in my last video that I was going to talk about this book because I really wanted to talk about this book, and so today I'm going to bring you my thoughts on The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson. As you can probably tell from the cover of this book, this is a book about sort of transgender issues and coping with them, but it's actually it's a work of fiction and it's based around two teenagers. If I read you the blurb, you'll get a bit more of an info on what this book's about. It says, two outsiders, two secrets. David longs to be a girl. Leo wants to be invisible. When Leo stands up for David in a fight, an unlikely friendship forms. But things are about to get messy because at Eden Park School, secrets have a funny habit of not staying secret for long. I was just absolutely drawn into this book right from the word go. It's actually a dual narrative, and if I show you a little bit inside the book, you can see quite clearly here that the end of this chapter here is Leo's chapter and the beginning of this chapter here is David's chapter, and so they not only write with different voices but they actually have different texts as well, so it's different fonts as well, so it's really easy to know who you're listening to and who you're talking about. I loved David's character. I loved the fact that he had these groups of friends at school, and they knew who he was and who he wanted to be, but his parents didn't know, and so he has this whole struggle throughout the book of, you know, whether he should tell his parents, what he should say to them. He thinks that they're just expecting him to come out to them, but he's worried that he'll sort of hurt them or alienate them, what their reaction will be. But it's interesting that he's so open with these friends of his as well. And then obviously Leo comes along and we meet Leo, and it's interesting sort of seeing what it's like for Leo starting in a new school in year 11, in sort of the GCSE year of school, and how people react to him. And what I really loved about Leo was his kind of strong family ties. We see a lot of Leo at home and him interacting with his sisters and getting, you know, dinner ready for them and getting the shopping, and his interactions with his mum and his mum's boyfriend, and there's a whole storyline with Leo's relationship with his dad as well, which is really interesting. The thing that I loved about the narrative was that these characters were so open and honest, and because we got the story from their points of view, we got to kind of hear how both of them reacted to different situations. I love a dual narrative, and I think it kept this book really pacey. I mean, you know, this isn't a thin book, this is quite a thick book, but I read it basically in one sitting. I just kind of picked it up and went with it and was really drawn into it, and I'd really like to hear more from these characters as well. I really like to find out where they are now, because it's such a character driven book and the storyline is quite a sort of almost predictable storyline, but you don't know the way the characters are going to handle the issues in the storyline. It's kind of hard to talk about the plot, and obviously I don't want to give away any spoilers, but this is a character driven book. You will, you know, live it through the lives of Leo and David, and you will get into their friendship and their other friendship groups and their family, and you will live this book through them. And I think it's so important to have these books from their point of view. I know I did a review of George, which is dealing with a similar situation, and that's a middle grade book. This is a YA book, so obviously we've got slightly older characters and older audience, but I think that this book would be sort of good for anybody to read. And if this is kind of your first foray into characters that are dealing with this kind of thing, then this would be an amazing place to start. I just think that everybody should read this book. It was an enjoyable story, the characters were fabulous, and I think that the issues dealt with in the book were dealt with really well. So yeah, big recommendation from me on this one. I will have another video soon, so I'll see you then. Bye.